Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I was asked by a subscriber what these boxes are, and yeah, it was Sandra. So, Sandra, I hope you see this. I would rather do a visual review of it instead of just typing, so maybe you can get a more feeling of what I have here. This is a box from Sennelier, and it came with this postcard watercolor paper and plastic wrapping. I glued it in my journal. It looks like this when you look for it on Amazon, and it's called Petite Aquarelle Sennelier, and Petite is their student grade. And it also on Amazon show you what colors there are in it. It caught my interest because a lot of things. First of all, by the way, this whole book here is featured on my Patreon. That's the book that I'm working in. So if you think that looks like interesting to look in, you can, by signing up to my Patreon, see every single page in this Travels notebook here. It opens up and then it comes with this block of watercolor paper that's like 300 GSM, 100% cotton, because Sennelier, they know their stuff, right? They know what we want and what's best. And here's the swatch card for it, and then it had this divider here, and then it came with the size 4 Raphael brush, and this is plastic for mixing tray. I have to say that the reason why I bought this is because of a lot of things. Can you see this division down here? If you take a chopstick, you can make in more dividers, so you can expand a set like this to contain up to 56 half pans, because the division of these slots matches just perfectly to a half pan. So you fill out, like if you put all your colors down here and then end it in this row up here and keep that slot for your brush, you can actually have like 56 half pans. Is that important? I don't know. Maybe it is. It's just fun to MacGyver your sets. I also bought this set because there was like 7 out of the 18 half pans that I have not tried out before, even though that I have a rather big collection of Sennelier. By the way, this palette is just so functional if you are building up your tub with other palettes, because then you can actually close it. So even though that some of them are moist or wet, they would just drip down on this wood tray right here. But my Sennelier, my love for Sennelier goes way back to around 2018, I think. And my collection looks like this, and it's the bigger version of the box. This came with like a ceramic mixing tray and 2 rows here with, no, 3 rows with wood, and then I installed my own Chinese chopstick here and here to create more rows. So I think there was like 98, 99 different colors of Sennelier, and here I got about 60. So if I wanted to, I could contain the whole range of Sennelier paint in just this palette alone. And when I jumped into buying Sennelier, I did not buy like a set. It was a sale in my local art store where I got these. I picked out these colors here, and Colors that are usually sold for 34 Danish kroner were on sale for 14 Danish kroner, which is about $2, so it's like really cheap. And pants that costed 42 to 48 Danish kroner were on sale for 22 Danish kroner. So I handpicked this without having a lot of knowledge about watercolor, but believing that if I had lots of the primary, like lots of yellow, red, and blue, I could probably mix my way through the rest. So that's why I have not so much in the green range, because I was depending on mixing my greens, and very little of the brown, because I very quickly learned that I often got brown when I tried to mix anything. So I thought that, well, it's not that difficult to get a neutral, right? So this is what I have in my collection, and what came in this Petite Aquarelle was a cobalt blue, just to mention one of them. I've never had a cobalt in Sennelier, and I was also interested in trying out the hue, because I have a cobalt in gram, where I could kind of visually see how does these hues feel and look like, because that's my first cobalt hue pan that I have. And hue means that it's non-toxic paint, and it's the past year a lot of brands has been making it sound like, ooh, that's special, you know. It's a hue. So but basically it's just not a genuine cobalt. So this was the first time that I try out a cobalt hue, so that's also why I got this. And I have to admit that I swatched out, you know, when you get new paints, you do the swatching. So I did some comparison, like, you know, the genuine color wheel and stuff. But 645 is Chinese orange. And that's not a pigment number, that is a pan number. 645 Chinese orange, which is one of my favorite. I have not seen a Chinese orange in other brands. So when I saw this on Amazon, and I saw that it was a 645er, I thought, oh my god, if they include like a Chinese orange, I'm hooked. This is my Chinese orange. But it is not the same. I don't know if it's a typo or what it is, but the Petite is also calling it 645, but it's, I don't know if the Petite got their own color swatch chart, or I don't know. But then the rest of them, I was matching them out, and the only variant I saw and found was in Payne's Gray. The original artist grade is much stronger than the Petite, and I also thought there was a variation in the ultramarine, like it was a sort of a weaker, warmer, I don't know, just a different ultramarine. But tomatoes. There's also some difference in the burnt sienna, where I actually like the Petite one better. Yeah, but it's so minute. You know what? If you gave me one pan from here and one pan from here, I could not tell the difference. That's how close the student grade is to the artist grade in this brand Sennelier, and it's just awesome. It's the first time I tried the Petite, and that's also one of the reasons why I bought this set here, because I want to try out myself, because there is a big saving. You know, you can save money on replacing some of these pans with the Petite brand if I get that in that situation. Yeah, so and then I have painted some drawings with them. I did this inspired by Tim Burton's Corpse Bride, and then I added in some shimmer. So it's a mix of shimmer paint and then the Petite palette. This is also a mix of shimmer paint. You know, his pants, for instance, are shiny, and then where it's watercolor, it is the Petite, and I'm very satisfied. Look at the granulation. I mean, it's just so nice. Look at this one. This is washes up here that is like very faint. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but I just love the way that Sennelier paint works together, wet on wet. They just mix naturally and seamlessly. It's just it's just such a nice paint. And this is also painted with only the Sennelier box, not added on shimmer paint or anything. And this was like a really wet mess, you know, where you just drop in colors. And why I'm doing this is because I want to see how does the blooming works. So it's deliberately that I get these textures here because I'm pushing the paint, and I really like what I see. It's very nice blooms. If I did this with other brands, it would look a little bit not so harmonic. Like up here, I also irritated the surface by keep adding in more and more just to see how it feathers out, how it mixes, and it's very willing to mix with a wet and wet wash. So it's always nice to do tester paints when you get a new palette. So instead of just swatching out squares, try and paint with them. I'm very satisfied. I think it's a very nice palette. So, but the purchase is mostly because of the wooden box. I'm a sucker for wooden boxes. I adore the Raphael brushes. I know it's not for vegans, but it's just such a nice brush, and you can load it up. So here it's a very wet wash of ultramarine. But when you really load it up, because the barrel is so thick, you can have a lot of like creamy consistence of the ultramarine, and then when you do one application, you get that really fierce granulation because the application is so saturated with the pigment, right? So these Raphael brushes is like a super nice tool for a person like me who likes to work wet and wet. Then I also have this tiny palette that Sandra wanted to know more about, and it's with magnets, so you can click it onto your sketchbook. So if you're outdoor sketching, it's just cute. So I set it up with my own mixes of paint, and to sound like all the other channels, if you go to my Patreon, you will see my video where I set up this palette right here with my own mixes. I just took stash that I have mixed together to create my own colors, and of course I'm working with colors that intrigue me. So yeah, it's not really gonna show up on this stream because that's just the nature of it. But it's a super cute little wooden walnut palette where I got my I don't even know what to say. I just have my own shimmer added to it, so when it dries up I think it's more visual, because I really like shimmer. Let me see just for fun if this shimmer shows up. It does not. Okay, then it's just, you know, then it's a waste of footage because, yeah, you have to sit in front of it to really see the beauty of it. But yeah, that was my review. I think I'm gonna call this upload the review of the Le Petite palette from Sennelier. Yeah. So, but thank you for asking and showing interest in my channel. I love that. I wish you a nice day, and I hope that this answered some of your questions. Bye bye. Oh my God. What is wrong with me? Can we agree that one of the most important ingredients in a review is to tell people where did you buy it and what did you pay? I'm so sorry. It's just so rare that somebody gets inspired by my things. So I am out of training with doing upload like this. But anyway, this little palette here, I realized that if I let the paint dry, then you might be able to see the shimmer that's added. It's very subdued and pushed back, and it's nice that it is that. So it is, yeah, okay. I hope that you can tell. But anyway, this palette is called XI Sketchbook Palette, and I did a converter of money, and it's equivalent to $11 that I paid for this, and I found it on the Amazon German website. And this Le Petite Aquarelle was a flash deal on the French Amazon website for $31. So yeah, that's it. I shouldn't be doing any more uploads today. You know what? Earlier this morning I did another upload to my channel, and then I just throw in there that, oh, I'm listening to this audiobook, and then I tell you guys the title of the audiobook on YouTube. And then I turn off the camera and upload my video, and then I listen some more to that audiobook, and then it takes a twist. It turns into something like 50 Shades of Grey. And I was really surprised about it because it's on YouTube. I didn't even know that you could find graphic stuff like that on YouTube. So I am so sorry that I, on my previously upload this day, has suggested that, oh, go check it out. That is horrible. But yeah, typical me. I really need to step up take my big girl pants on and kind of maybe make a manuscript before I upload videos like this. But sorry for forgetting the most key ingredient in a product review, which was the where did you find it and what did you pay for it. So I hope I correct that error by now. Bye bye.